Okay, boys and girls, we're live.
Yay!
What the hell day is it? Is it Tuesday? February 23rd.
Tuesday, February 23rd, and it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, I'm 25,616 days old, so 616 instead of 666. So in 50 days, we'll have a big celebration.
So 616, which means he's Satan with a missing chromosome.
Yeah, and I just realized, last night at about 6 p.m. that I'm 70 years old because I went and signed up for this at this Health Partners for the COVID vaccine, and I looked at it and they had this big message that they're only taking people that are 70 and older, and that was on like Sunday, and I thought, oh shit, I can't get it because I'm 65 and older. And then I was talking to my sister last night. It's like, wait a minute, I'm 70. Fucking A. So I went and signed up, and you know what? It didn't do any good. They still haven't contacted me, so I'm so sad. I cannot get the vaccine.
Well, wait a minute. And this just happened yesterday?
I just realized yesterday that I'm 70 and older now instead of 65 and older.
Right, but then yesterday was when you reached out to him?
No, I reached out this morning.
Oh, and you're expected to hear back from him already?
Well, fuck yeah.
Oh, let me try and explain something to you.
I'm 70 and older.
70 and older, but like, even if you call your own doctor on a given day, they're not going to get back to you for 24 or 48 hours, man. Like,
really? Fucking healthcare in this country. God damn
yeah,
it.
God damn it.
God damn it. Anyway, so the show icon for today, the picture that I have is what I thought would be a good picture for heathen morality. I think the girl on the left is a heathen, and the guy on the right ogling her is a priest or something. He's a Christian. And he's looking at her thinking, she doesn't have any morals. And leaned up against a tree, as Scott pointed out, is what looks like a dildo. And as I pointed out, it's not just a dildo, but it's a divining rod dildo.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got two handles.
Well, no. Well, but then if she was going to sound for water, then she would, stick it in her, the dildo end in her, and then walk around and.
Well, no, I think he's going to do the sticking because he's got hefty arms and he could grab those two handles. And he's looking at her thinking, she has no morals.
Look at the number of E's just going down, down, down.
Well, no, I mean, if he's a priest, he's probably looking at her and wondering if she has a small male child.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe he's a Protestant. I don't know. It could be.
Yeah, I was wondering what those were because on the mobile, you couldn't see the whole picture. It just was those things leaning against there with the.
Yeah, it's a little shorter on the stream, but anyway, so I thought that would that may launch us into a small discussion of morality. But
shouldn't that real big one be made of ebony wood?
I don't know. It's white for some reason. Is that willow? No, the willow's on the right. I don't know. I'm not sure how you get wood that white. I'm guessing
Sometimes I crack myself up. I'm sorry. Okay. Nobody else apparently on that one, but I cracked myself up.
Oh, shit. Okay, John.
What?
Okay, Boomer.
Yeah, okay. Can I mention something real quick?
Why not?
So everybody knows who Josh Dawkins is, right? Does everybody know who Tom Rabbit is?
Yeah.
He put a video out yesterday, or might have been the night before. He has challenged Darth Dawkins to debate Darth's mortal enemy, Jack Angstreich, and Tom Rabbit put up $300, and then what's that guy's name? Simon. No, it's not Simon. It's some dude that everybody in here knows, and I can't think of his fucking name right now. And he had a little clip on from a Discord server yesterday where Darth was in a Discord, and somebody asked him about that. and he wouldn't even answer to it. He didn't just mute himself; he deafened himself because he didn't want to hear them asking that anymore.
Wow.
But Jack Angstreich, somebody that's been around since the Google Hangout days, and he has taken Darth to task many times. And now, over the past several years, anytime Darth comes in contact with him, he just goes away. He won't talk to him.
Wow.
Darth comes in contact with him. Oh shit!
Somebody's rolling.
Yeah, that was me.
Window, Chrome tab. Did anyone? Okay. Now, what is it? John Maddox hashtag what? John Maddox a grifter?
Oh, hashtag John Maddox is a grifter. Yeah.
Okay. Well, they win $500. Find out live Sunday. Sunday now. What? Wait a minute.
I thought it was tomorrow.
I thought it was today. 5 days. I gotta wait 5 fucking. What a. Oh, I know what he's doing. He's starting a fundraiser.
Sidney Winston was the guy who put the video out of Darth not refusing to answer about the debate.
You got a link? Is there a video?
Well, it was just like this. Tom Rabbit put a video out today too, where Darth was in a Discord server just fucking reaming some fucking teenager.
Darth doxed Jack. Yeah, I have Tom Rabbit somewhere, but I'm not sure.
Darth Dawkins, the gift that keeps on giving, the man, the myth.
Yeah, and the other one was Sidney Winston's channel. I'm not going to find the links. Fuck that.
Tom Rabbit has a site named Tom Rabbit, or it's named something else?
It's called Tom Rabbit. It's called, but it's spelled weird. It's like Tom RABBITT. Yeah. And it has a avatar of a rabbit.
So okay, let's see what. Hang on a second here. Okay, the description. Show more. Sunday night. Come and find out if anybody is able to crack the code, can explain their process, and ultimately make a case for or against the same logic. Okay, that's the part where he's going to get them and not pay him the $500.
Mm-hmm. Because essentially, you have to agree to his worldview to get the money.
Yeah, he isn't going to accept Dr. Dan making a case for the evolution side, right? So he's only gonna accept him making a case for the creationist side, and you know that Dr. Dan is not going to do that. So this is the catch-22 that John's developed in his tiny, tiny, tiny little mind. It's like it's about that.
I'm not that John, by the way. I'm not that John.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Maddox. Did I say John again?
Which conditions that you didn't mention when he started the thing?
I apologize to all Johns everywhere. In this live event, the contestants. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say your baited trap seems to have worked.
Oh my God, is it working? Oh no! Shh, quiet. He's at the back of the boat. He hasn't yet come close enough.
Don't scare him off yet. He's not all the way in the box. Don't pull the string.
Quiet. Be very, very quiet. We're hunting Wabbit. And I have to call him Wabbit for now because otherwise it'll give it away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In this live event, the contestants must explain how they solved the challenge, how they determined the alphabet. He already explained it in chat yesterday. How this process is different than value assignments for nucleotide-based codons. Okay. Help me out, guys. I mean, how this process is different than value assignments for nucleotide-based codons and amino acid domains. Well, okay, it's different because John made the code and fucking Mother Nature made the other, thing. So, I mean, yeah, that's how it's different. He isn't going to accept that. If they can do this, they have to explain how it's different. They can win up to 500, number of successful contestants. That will be Venmo'd to them live Okay, so he's going to pay it live. Fucking A. Intro and overview. Oh my God, he's got a whole plan here. He's really working hard on this. His little tiny brain is working very overtime. What is a code? Explanation by host. Contestant. Okay, he's gonna give us he's also gonna explain Shannon information to us, and he's gonna explain information theory he said somewhere. So this is gonna be very, very exciting. This will happen next week.
I take exception to his claim that he is going to explain anything.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to talk, but will he really explain anything?
Did you see what I did there? I said, we'll see. I stopped. You can see the progress.
No, you can call me John.
No, I was actually referring to him, but anyway.
That's all right. I changed my fucking moniker in case you slip up again.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, so atheist morality. So how many of you feel that you have no morals and no way to ground your morality?
I don't think anybody other than apologists have ever just laid back and gone, how do I ground my morality? How do I, it's just not a problem.
Yeah, I was laying in the chair the other day thinking about eating babies, and I'm trying to figure, and I had to work through it in my mind, and I had to figure out, okay, why would I not eat babies?
Especially like if you had, what did they used to call that, where you could oven fry your chicken, shake and bake?
Yeah. What the hell would you call that for babies? Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
The stream does not condone actually eating babies. This is purely for entertainment purposes. If you believe that we actually do that, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Leave this stream if you believe that. Right?
That was our legal department.
Yeah, thank you.
Tanya for the legal department. Thank you, Tanya.
Fuck that legal department.
Yeah,
anyway. I make the best baby back ribs in the world.
God damn it, John.
So, I mean, you're walking along the street, and some old couple ahead of you are walking in front of you, and you see that they dropped their wallet, and you pick up the wallet, and you think, okay, now I don't believe in the Bible, so how do I figure out what to do with this wallet?
Well, it's simple. If you lost your wallet, you want someone else to return it to you. Ergo, you return the wallet.
Yeah. But I mean, I think everybody's morals are basically, okay, as the Christians would put it, they're written on your heart, and they think they're written on your heart by God. But you always, like, when you're struck with a moral challenge, I always feel something at the center of my body. That's a pressure at the center of my body to do the right thing.
Yeah, it's called a conscience.
Maybe you are. Why would his conscience be in his fucking stomach, though? It sounds like you're a Christian, dude. If you're a Christian, if you have morals, you must be a Christian. You believe in God, don't you? Yeah. I mean, of course, as everyone knows, you put the cash in your pocket and throw the wallet in the mailbox.
Yeah, at least that much. I mean,
God, that would be just here.
That would be the half right thing to do.
Yeah, no, I'm just fucking. I mean, look. Here's the thing. Like, there's been times like when, say, I've been to a big box store or something, and they fuck up and give me too much change, and I don't go back.
I do.
I mean, well, here's the thing. But then one day, this girl actually fucked up, and like she gave me credit for two, what do you call, virtual gift cards that I had that was on my phone. Somehow I don't know how she did it, but like when I got my receipt, I saw that there was two $20 two $20 gift cards at it, and I had only given her one. And so when I noticed this, when I get home, I'm looking at my receipt. I'm like, wait a minute, fucking girl's going to get in trouble. Like $20. Are you kidding me? Like they're going to flip out. So I call up and I give the number on the receipt and everything, because that's how they can tell what register I went through. And I say, yeah, I mean, I can't get back up there right now, but I'll come up tomorrow. I bring this money, you know, and, you know, I explain to them, I don't want this girl to get in trouble. And then I go up in the next day and show them the receipt and the notes there that I had called. And then they were like, well, yeah, it all worked out fine. Like there was nothing wrong with their register. And I'm trying to explain to them that, well, right, the reason there was nothing wrong with the register is because it was like a virtual transaction and she counted it twice.
Right.
No, that's okay. You know,
Oh,
I couldn't even make them take it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, there was a situation that happened to me recently where somebody found $1,000 and a worker and came to me with $1,000 and said, I found this. And so I peeled off 500 and gave him 500.
Oh yeah, I remember you told that story here on the air here. Like,
did I? No, I don't think so. That was something else.
No. Because if I remember correctly, the $1,000 was found in somebody else's apartment. That
I told that backstage, maybe. I don't know, but I don't think I said it on air.
Oh, okay. Oh, I apologize. That's right. We talked about backstage. I could be
Yeah.
I could be misremembering very easily. You're correct.
Yeah.
You are correct, sir. But yeah, like going back to what the scenario that you painted, you know, just like Midnight said, you know, you said it too, I believe, that like if you lost your wallet, you'd like to think that someone would get it back to you, you know, and so that's why you decide, because when you decide what to do right, you're relying on not only your current thought processes, but you're actually relying on you know, hundreds of thousands of years of social evolution. You know, and you know that you do the right thing in hopes that everybody's going to do the right thing.
The thing is, the reason it feels like it comes from your stomach or your chest or your heart is all of your emotional system is what creates your morality.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, finish.
What's that?
Finish. Sorry, I'll.
Oh, he does do it. You're right.
Yeah,
John.
see, I do it. I apologize. Just finish already. I want to say something.
Okay, you do it. I never noticed before. Okay, thank you for catching that. Just like I caught the John. Anyway,
Go ahead, finish.
Okay, so you feel your limbic system is a strong center of your brain, basically, and what it has is what I call juice squirters. They're neurons that project to almost every part of your cortex. And what happens is if you feel anger, they will select out the neurons that are involved in fight or flight or fighting or all of these negative things, right, are all selected. If you have the one that feels empathy, it'll select out all of your hug the teddy bear neurons and stuff like that. But they feel like they're also associated with all sorts of sensory information from your body and from your stomach. And your stomach has a very important little brain in it that deals with the idea of disgust. And it evolved to keep us from eating things that are bad, like shit. Don't eat shit. Hashtag don't eat shit. But so we have this disgust built in to the center of our bodies, and it all comes from our stomach, and there's all of these sensory connections that come from deep within your body, and they're associated with everything you feel. When you feel anger, all of your muscles tighten up, they hurt, it's kind of uncomfortable, you get this like edgy feeling. That all comes from your body. So our morality is based more in our body and our stomach than it is in anything else. And that's why if you look at all the words that we have for like listen to a Stinky Snake talk about disgusting people, he will use all sorts of scatological references or disgusting references, garbage and shit like that.
Well, I agree with you. I don't think it's the biggest component. Okay. It's not
the biggest component.
What's that?
It's the biggest.
No, it's not.
Well, I want to add. Sorry, John. I want to add to something I said before, right, about finding the wallet and returning it. A little caveat to that. Say you're having a shitty week, right? You're down on your luck. You don't have any money, and you suddenly find this wallet. You suddenly find this wallet full of cash. It's like, okay, well, now you're gonna decide. Okay, well, I'm up Shit's Creek, and I can't eat this week. But this is someone else's money. What do I do?
You go and you give it back to them and hope they give you a reward.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a little anecdotal story, right? But back in Italy, when I was a kid, I was really sick, right? My mom didn't really have money to buy medicine, so and as she was coming out of the store, she noticed like $20, on the floor under a car tire. And funny enough, there were some kids playing across the street for it. And my mom's like, okay, you know what, I need this money for my son. Like, you know what I mean? Like the money was just on the floor.
Well, right. No, if you find loose money, that's a different proposition than finding somebody's wallet with money in it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and real quick, before we get too far past it, I was waiting. I wanted to say that quick thing, and I'm waiting for you to say what you'd wanted to say. I want Speed to go back here because I wanted to address the fact that to address the fact that Speed's little plan worked. But if you could go back to right above Jay Passick's post where Danny says there are so many issues with evolutionary ethics.
Right. Okay. So
God damn it, Speed, you are a mastermind.
Before we leave with I'm working on before we leave the subject of finding money and deciding, oh God, should I keep it or whatever. Yeah, that's where the morality goes up into your cortex, where you use your prefrontal lobe to decide, okay, what the hell should I do here? My kid needs money. I need food. This person looks like they have enough. I'm going to decide what's fair here. And then you take the money. But when you take that money, you will always have this little nugget of guilt this little pressure that you should have done the right thing. Right. And It's amazing how we do that. But we have this whole fucking huge brain to add to morality. But what the Christians think is that brain and the Bible is how you ground reality. And some atheists think that you ground it in rationality. You don't. The most important thing is your body and how you feel. How you feel about shit. If you follow like they say, follow your heart. Why do you think that phrase is so fucking prevalent in human culture?
Okay. Because it was devised a long time ago before we actually knew how the human body worked. But look,
okay, let's go here.
Yeah, just above that, he had said,
No,
below that. And he says, Jay Passick says that $1,000 your buddy found, that was the $1,000 that Jill owes me.
Yeah.
Where the hell does it start here?
Okay, there are so many issues with evolutionary ethics. Okay, so Danny's throwing
Name one.
He's triggering us. He's trying to trigger us.
Right.
Yeah. And then because nobody responded right away, he upped the trigger and said it shouldn't be taken seriously.
Right. That's what I caught on too. But
we know that Danny is talking out of his ass, right?
Yeah,
well, right. And
I really prefer him to give me a number. How many issues are there? Are there 12? Are there 18? Are there 142? And do you have a paper counting off the issues?
Yeah, how many issues?
Well, to be fair, too, like I have a small issue with what Speed was talking about. I agree with everything he said, except for the fact that he is saying that is the major factor in people's morality, but it definitely plays a huge part. But yeah, it shouldn't be taken seriously thing. Yeah, that was him upping the game. So many issues with level, and then now the funny thing to me too is after that, where is it? They were asked. Him and Jay were analyzing the name of the stream or the description of the stream that you had put in it.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, he says, Jay Pasick, isn't that the question? Because Jay had mentioned it. And then Danny says, first off, the word ground, quotation marks, has a lot of baggage.
Yeah. There is a Danny in pedantic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So okay, well, and what is Jay saying? Yes,
I'm sorry, Speed. That was just so awesome. For some reason, it hit me as a very profound quip. So thank you.
Which one?
Part?
There's a Dan in pedantic.
Oh, that's
you're stealing my fucking joke.
That's your joke. Okay, John. Well done. People are stealing your jokes. That's how awesome it is.
Credit where credit is due.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery, John.
That sounded a lot rougher than it was. I just was beating Speed to the punch because he was going to own having said my joke. But
wait, is Nathan drawing Speed?
I think so. Yeah,
it's very possible.
So my point is, he's getting my Bohunker Pollock nose in there, right? So my point is that grounding, this bullshit about grounding reality in reason, and the stuff that Danny does and other philosophers with this fucking going on and on about ethics has very little to do with it. We are ethical at the core of our being. If we never learned language, we only associated with other human beings or other mammals, we would develop morality. Okay, there you did it again.
Sorry.
Boy, you cannot fucking help yourself.
I know. It's like,
what is it about? Am I the midnight whisperer or something? Like,
I guess so. I guess you just inspire him, man. You're his muse.
Well, and the thing is like, now that I brought it up, now you notice it every time.
Yeah, I'll get better at it.
Okay. Now, Midnight, your turn.
No, I just wanted to say yes. Apparently, he's drawing you. But to your point, it's like, okay, you know what? Philosophy is obviously important, but even talking about ethics, philosophy, philosophers sometimes lose the point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, wait. I got a bite. Oh shit. He took the hook.
What was pedantic about what I said?
Everything. Bye.
That's not really an answer.
We're not going to talk about your fucking pedantic grounding thing. Let's talk about evolution.
You're the one that was talking about it, not me.
Let's talk about the problems with evolution. No, we were just pointing out that it was funny that somebody says something and you pick a word in there and you say, what is the meaning?
Well, do you understand the distinction between explain and ground?
Wait, Danny, but what went over your head there is that was a tongue-in-cheek description that Speed put in.
Oh, yeah, I forgot y'all are not really serious when y'all talk to me.
No, but didn't you see the word ground had fucking quotes around it? You know what that means, right?
When I use the quotes?
When you put a word with single or double quotes in the middle of a sentence, you're essentially saying air quotes. Like, he wasn't seriously saying that, like theists, we have to have something to ground our morality in.
Well, you see, the notion of ground doesn't really mean the same thing as like explain. And
I know it doesn't. He didn't. That's why he didn't say explain.
We kind of know.
Well, that. I don't think it really makes sense to say that anything is grounded in anything else.
Really? Well, guess what? His description implied that. That's what you missed. He was implying that you don't have to ground your morality in anything.
No, but it should be explained by things, right?
I think it need to be explained. 99 out of 100 people would read that sentence and understand exactly what he means.
Well, then what does he mean by ground here?
It's a meme. It's
a meme that Christians come up with. They're always talking about grounding morality. And yes, there is a whole lot to unpack there about what you mean by grounding.
Yeah, it's just a lot of baggage.
But the point I'm making is, there's a lot of baggage in using the word ground in a serious proposition. But in that proposition that he put in there to describe this stream, there's not a whole lot of baggage. It's just that he's kind of throwing shade at Christians that use that word all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying that it's also used outside of philosophy of religion, and it's still problematic in those contexts.
Yeah, I agree. It's problematic in those contexts as well. So anyway, we were talking about evolution, and you've seen this. Well, you're going to come here and list the problems with evolutionary morality?
Evolutionary ethics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that...
but are you referring to the evolution that I referred to? Because I said social evolution.
Yeah, I mean, is that supposed to be the thesis that like certain beliefs or certain views about what we should do are selected for?
No, I'm not talking about biological evolution.
Nope.
Well, then I don't know what you mean.
You're with the genetics basically that started out, and the zygote that started out that you developed from, and the environment that you developed in the womb, and then later on the arms of your mother and the protection of your father and the tribe that you grew up in, those things develop your morality. It developed prelingually.
Well, and also over time, that social evolution changes and becomes different and better in certain, depending on how you look at it, because as societies grow and get bigger, and you start thinking of more aspects of what's good for the group and good for the individual, then things get added, and things that sometimes in society way back when were acceptable, now they're not acceptable because we evolved as a society.
Yeah, it seems like y'all are using a proprietary notion of evolutionary ethics, but
what does that mean?
Meaning that you're not really talking about what other people talk about when they're discussing evolutionary ethics.
Well, that means that's
about social evolution. I wasn't speaking of evolutionary ethics with regards to biological evolution.
Okay, yeah, but usually evolution is in the context of like a theory rather than just saying there's change.
Probably in your mind, but not the way we're talking about.
Is evolution? So you just meant evolution is like that morals change, or there's change with respect to societies? Is that what you meant?
When we say evolution, it's basically okay. We ended up the way we are as a result of a long evolutionary string of events. Okay, yeah, and the way that we are, the natural way that we are, the grounding that is us. The morality of mammals is what we're looking at. Okay, so there's something we have in common with monkeys and raccoons and rabbits and any other animal that basically sleeps together at night. So that particular part of morality, you would call it natural. You could call it naturalistic morality, so as not to trigger your fucking natural selection vibe.
Well, there's still big issues with that too.
Okay, what are the issues?
Well, that natural facts underdetermine moral facts.
But hang on a second here. Before this scrolls off, okay, that seems like it could get circular. If one grounds reality in reason, would reason be a thing without reality? Yeah. I mean, you could, and that's kind of the whole apologetics game is to say we can't have reason, we can't have morality without grounding in something. We ground it in reason. Well, reason has to be grounded in belief in God or whatever. So I just want to keep up the chat here, Danny. Okay, so what are the problems with that naturalistic morality?
Well, natural facts underdetermine what should be done or shouldn't be done.
Natural, and that doesn't make any fucking sense at all in terms of what we're talking about. That has nothing to do with biology. So
you disagree?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with biology.
Am
I disagreeing with what you're saying? No, I'm disagreeing with the fact that you uttered the sentence in the first place. That's what I'm disagreeing with.
What do you think it means?
Not disagreeing with you.
So if you disagree, that means you understood me. So what do you think I meant?
I don't even care what you meant.
Yeah, you see, this is why you're not a serious interlocutor.
Well, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and unpack it, Danny. Unpack what you meant.
It just means that.
Can I interject here real quick, apropos of nothing you're talking about, but nice one there, Danny. Once again, alluding to, he doesn't understand you. So
he admitted that.
Well,
yeah, I have to think about it. Okay, say it again, Danny.
Natural facts underdetermine what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Okay. So let's unpack that. Natural facts underdetermine what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So from natural facts, okay, like we're going to reason this out. We're going to say, okay, I find a wallet on the street and I have to figure out what I should do and what I shouldn't do, right? So this kind of goes to what we're talking about with rationality. No, there's no fucking way to reason that out. But a person that finds a wallet on the street will automatically feel a pressure to return that wallet to its rightful owner to do the right thing. That has nothing to do with fucking reasoning about facts.
Are you trying to give an account about what
you even said that means that you're heading down this rationalization of morality fucking backstreet. And I'm saying that is bullshit, Danny. It's not what we're talking about.
Are you trying to get at a meta ethics or not?
Meta ethics.
Because the idea of meta ethics, which is the whole question of what does it mean to say something's right or wrong, is a meta ethical question.
Yeah, and I'm saying that is a move in the wrong direction. That's a move down the wrong street. The right
What question
street.
are you trying to answer?
What question am I trying to answer?
With respect to morality.
That morality is based in your body, your stomach, your neurons, your fucking limbic
What
system.
are you answering? What is it
from.
supposed to answer? Aren't you answering what is morality? What is right and wrong? Okay,
Yes.
that's meta.
No, not what is right and wrong. That's a different discussion.
Well, then I don't know what you mean by morality if it's detached from right and wrong.
Hey, Steve, did you ever set a trap and then catch the wrong thing in it?
I have to throw it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a remove button for that. I'll make a decision. This looks like a pretty tasty.
Yeah, y'all
fish.
are unteachable. Y'all have never studied like meta ethics.
No,
you don't know
hold
what
on.
you're talking about.
Oh
Hold
fuck,
on.
I haven't.
You have
Before you
no
kick him
idea
out-
what you're talking about right now.
Before you kick him out, I said something in the side chat or private chat. Danny, hold on, what did I say? You're acting extremely arrogant and condescending. You want to have a conversation, have a fucking conversation, but don't act that way. I'm done.
Well, you should talk to your friends as well.
Danny, have I said you're a fucking jerk, or you don't understand, or you're stupid, or you don't know what you're talking about?
You're unteachable.
You don't know what meta ethics is.
Wait, do you
Danny.
think you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, because he's the one who set the stream up and suggested the topic. So I would say it's pretty safe that he knows what the fuck he's talking about.
So is he asking? So he's trying to answer the question of what right or wrong is, or sorry, what morality is. And excuse me,
Never said
excuse
that.
me, excuse me. You're trying to answer the question. You're trying to answer. Excuse me.
5 more
Excuse
times.
me.
No, you weren't.
Excuse me.
No, we weren't.
You're trying to answer the question what morality is, and then
One of you are getting muted.
Excuse me.
You're getting muted.
Excuse
John,
me.
I'm gonna have to pick
Excuse
you this
me.
time, John.
Okay, I was just saying that what I meant to say, I did misspeak there, is that you're trying to answer the question about what morality is in an atheistic framework, maybe.
Yes,
But that question
right or
can't
wrong
be
is.
detached from right and wrong.
No, not what right or wrong is. That's a whole different
Well,
discussion.
then no one knows what you're talking about when you're saying morality. Everyone thinks that if it's moral, it's right. Everyone thinks if it's immoral, it's wrong. But if you're saying something can be immoral but potentially right, no one knows what you're talking about.
When you run into a situation, okay, and you have a choice about how to act, how you act is morality. Is based in morality. It has nothing to do with right or wrong. Right or wrong are rational concepts that you come up with when you run into a real problem. Like, okay, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. So now I have to start using language and artifacts and meta ethics to decide what right or wrong. We're not talking about what right or wrong is, and we're not trying to derive that from morality. We're trying to look at what morality is, why human beings have all of these moral words in their language. And why they go to reason in the first place, why they would create something like metaethics. Do you understand that?
The point is that on your view, something could be.
understand
No, I don't. Well, most of what you're saying doesn't make any sense, right? The reason why is because on your view, something can be immoral and the right thing to do.
The right thing to do, immoral, and the right thing. It's possible, yes. There are times when you would have to do something that somebody would consider immoral because it's the right thing to do. Yeah.
Hey, I have a perfect example.
Wait, then that's just equivocating.
Wait. I started speaking first, and I have a perfect example for that from television from the past few weeks. There's a show that I just discovered like 6 months ago that's been around for like almost 20 years now, NCIS. All right. And they were going to, get some bad guys or whatever at an airport, and they found out that there was a bomb on the airplane that this one agent was going to try and go in and find another agent who had been kidnapped. So they found out that bomb was there, and then they tried to contact the agent that was going to infiltrate the plane, but they had blocked the signals. They couldn't reach him on the radio. And so the dude that was the sniper in that situation, he had to shoot the other agent because the agent just kept moving forward towards the plane, and they knew it was going to blow at any second. And first he shot him in the arm, and he fell down, but he got back up and he started going through the plane again. And then the sniper had to shoot him in the leg. And as it turned out, he survived, but like when he shot him in the leg, he got real close to the fucking femoral artery. So the dude almost died. Okay, so there's an instance where he had to do something that he didn't want to do. He had to do something that in most other circumstances would have been wrong, but it was right for that situation. That's the kind of thing that Speed's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not really disputing that, right? But I'm disputing is that all things being equal, something can be immoral as well as right.
Yep.
That's what I'm disputing. And if you detach...
Well, if you're disputing it, you didn't listen to a fucking word I said.
Well, if you're disputing it, then
heard
you're
what
not having
you
the
said.
same conversation as we were having about what morality is.
I mean, the point is that I've actually taken... I mean, I'm not going to appeal to my background. I'll just try to reason with you, even though it's difficult, right?
Oh, yeah,
no
you read
one,
all the...
No
you
one
read
in the
all
literature...
It's so difficult to reason.
Everyone that studies morality understands morality is a function of right and wrong. Okay, the second that you're saying that it's not, you're just changing the subject.
Nope. I am giving.
We're not
my
allowed to
word
frame
to
our
this.
own conversation. Is that what you're here for, Danny? To reframe our conversations?
Okay. Do you see what Lena said here? Okay, morality equals principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, good and
That's
bad
right.
behavior. And do you see what I said here? What did I say? What did I say? I said I disagree.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
you're
so
just talking.
that is
You're not
the
talking about what everyone else is talking about when they're discussing morality.
Well, am I obligated to have the same view as everybody else?
If you have the goal of not being confusing, yes.
I don't think I was being confusing when I explained the limbic system, the base of the brain, and how all this stuff operates in animals. I don't think I was.
I'm
being
not talking
confusing.
with respect to those stuff. I'm saying that if you're saying I'm going to talk about morality, right? Even the layman understands that morality is a function of right and wrong, good and bad. But you're saying, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about neuroscience, right? Then you're just not talking about what most moral philosophers and other regular people think about when they think about morality.
Is
No, actually, I am.
is it right to run a person over with a train?
I'm a particularist.
Well, is it good to run someone over with a train?
Yeah, and if
I
you're-
just said
if-
I'm a particularist.
Okay,
If you're
but
against
that didn't
it.
answer my question. Particulars, yes or no? Is it?
It's a nonsense question for me. If you understand
Why
what
is it a
particularism
nonsense?
is,
It's not a nonsense question. It's a close-ended question. Is it right to run a human being over with a train? Yes or no? If you can't answer a close-ended question, you're being
right? Well, the question is, okay. Well, if you really want an answer, being a particularist, it just depends.
No, that's not the answer I want. I'm asking you a yes or no
Okay,
question.
John.
Is it right? Is it good to run somebody over with a train? Yes
Yeah,
I
or
already
no?
told you I'm a particularist. You don't
but
know what particularism
John and
is.
Danny, shut up for a second. John, you're asking him. You're asking him a loaded question. As a particularist, he's going to want context, I believe. Is that correct?
Right.
Danny?
The way you come to know moral truth is being
right.
in
And
context.
hold on, Danny. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, that moment right there epitomizes you. Okay, you knew right then and there when I repeated my question, so it's a close-ended question, give me a yes or no, that you had said something I didn't understand, and rather than explain that in
You
the
should have just
moment.
asked me what I meant.
Hold on, shut the fuck up. Rather than explain that in the moment, and be a honest interlocutor, because you almost just said it out loud. Well, he didn't know what particularist means. Like, okay, so what? If you knew I didn't know what it meant, why didn't you explain? John,
Let me explain. Let me answer that question. Let me
Shut the fuck up right now. This is why.
Are you getting a little mad? Are you getting a little triggered?
Mute his ass, please. And then I'm going to leave. All right. Listen, you motherfucking pinhead. All right. You knew I didn't know what you meant when you said particularist. And any fair interlocutor would have said, well, obviously you don't know what I mean when I say particularist. I can't answer a yes or no question without explaining to you first what I mean by particularist. You wanted that moment to go so that you could make hay out of it, that I didn't know what you were talking about. Yeah. That's
the goal was not that.
That's the way you play these conversations all the time, and that's why people think you're a piece of shit, dude.
The reason why I do that is to get you to ask me what I mean, to test the worth of your being an interlocutor.
The worth of what?
Jesus, you're so condescending.
The point is that when I give,
that is not the way. That is not the way people. That is not the way people have discussions.
Danny, let John finish.
That is not the way that people who know more than others in the room have a conversation. I've talked to many people that know much more than you, Danny, and whenever they talk about anything that they believe people in the room aren't going to understand, they will explain it. But you were playing gamesmanship there. You knew I wasn't going to know what it meant, and rather than explain it after the first thing I said that indicated to you I didn't know what you meant, it's rather than explain it, you kept the game going a little bit just so you could say a few minutes later, well, the problem here is he doesn't know what I mean when I say I'm a particularist.
Okay, I get to respond now without interruption. John, you're half right? I knew you didn't know what it was, but that's precisely why I said it, and this is why, right?
Because you're
if you were a good interlocutor,
because you're a fucking prick.
Excuse me,
dude. Either he's gone, or I'm gone.
John, come on, John. You got
to. Either he goes or I'm going. Because
let me finish.
He is a prick. A fucking prick. I'm sick of his ass, man.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that when I said something you didn't know,
let me know when we're having the stream again when Danny the shithead.
Bye, Johnny. Bye, little John. Okay. Let me just explain myself. When I give some kind of term like particularism, right, what that is supposed to do is push the interlocutor to ask me what I mean, as if to test whether they're being honest or they're just looking for a gotcha moment. What John was looking for there was a gotcha moment. He wasn't interested in having a real conversation.
Wait a minute.
Which is precisely
hold on.
The same way that you answered my intention.
Hold on a second. I'm talking.
All right, go ahead, Speed.
Okay. John was not looking for a gotcha moment. He was trying to present an argument, and you fucking stopped him like right at the beginning. And when you stopped him at the beginning by saying you're a particularist, you should have said, let me unpack that for you, or let me explain to you what I mean. And then John could have reconsidered where he was going with the argument. No, he was not trying to gotcha, Danny. You're the only one trying to gotcha here. So
the evidence is against you here, right? If he was interested in what my beliefs.
Do we care about this? Okay, do we care?
Okay, yeah, you get to say what you want to say and then shut me down because you can't handle what I'm saying. You can't handle the truth. Where's the clip? Where's the clip?
You're
pull out the clip. You can't handle the truth, right? Shut me down because you can't handle it. What I was saying is that the evidence is against you, Speed, right? Because if John actually cared about what I meant or what I mean or what I believe, he would stop and realize that he doesn't know when I say that I'm a particularist, that I can't answer that question. He would have been interested in understanding what's meant by that, right? So the point of the question was to just kind of push back a non-serious interlocutor.
Hold on a second.
Okay, well, this is very fun, Danny. I think that's the first time I've seen. Well, maybe the second time I've seen John.
Sing that.
Shit!
You can't.
What the fuck is Speed listening to? Oh, he's probably talking to family or something. But
almost.
Yeah, but I love coming into these streams. God damn it.
You can't handle the truth.
Exactly.
You can't handle the truth.
Danny, you're funny. You're a funny guy.
Oh man, I really didn't want. I hope it didn't come off as me being initially aggressive, but
Yeah, you're
that wasn't
being
my
really
intention.
aggressive.
Well, there's a
Really.
difference
Not towards
between-
John. Towards John, I meant.
There's a
No,
difference
you were
between.
aggressive toward me and John and everybody else here.
No, I wasn't aggressive towards John until he
Are
started
you having
yelling.
trouble with your paper?
I finished it. I finished 26 pages.
Well, you should be in a relaxed state of mind. You shouldn't be so fucking aggressive. You should be
Well,
kind of cool
if
about
I
that.
can-
Well,
Right?
if I can add,
I'm pretty
something-
calm.
Yeah, sure you are. If
Yeah,
I can add
sure,
something, if I can add something really quick, Speed. There's a difference between being aggressive and being, and being arrogant and condescending. One can be aggressive, but still come off as a nice guy, or it's a way to
Yeah,
come off,
you can
having
be-
a good conversation.
you can be passionate and come off as a nice guy.
Yes.
But when you combine, but Danny's being aggressive and kind of trollish here, and he managed to piss John off because he was such a dick to him, and he's trying to piss me off as well.
You can't handle it.
Are you really?
Who the
Are you getting angry yourself, Speed?
No,
That's not anger. What the fuck are you
Uh,
no, I'm not angry at all.
Well, I don't understand why you think I'm trying to piss you off.
Well, because you are. Because your words betray what you're doing.
Look, you don't know what you're talking about, and that's sincere. Look, I promise you, right? You look
Right,
like
I don't
you would
know.
look like a fool
Okay.
to anyone that studied morality.
Explain what I
Fool.
don't know again. Explain what I don't
You're
know.
You're basically sucking the normativity out of morality. That's another way of saying by removing right and wrong from the notion of moral and immoral, completely destroys the concept.
I love that. Okay, sucking the normativity out of
Out of morality, which is another
I
way of
got the
saying
class
the fancy.
I think that's a class 3 federal penalty there.
no,
Right,
that is Danny. That is exactly Danny. That is
Scott.
exactly what I'm doing. That is exactly what I'm doing. Now
Right,
you
then you're
understand.
just not
me.
talking
Now
about
you
morality
under-
anymore.
Okay, now you understand. Okay, it's not morality according to your definition. It's morality according to mine.
Yeah,
Obviously, I have some different ideas, right? And that's why I run a fucking channel, because I have some different ideas. So I am sucking the normativity out of morality. I fucking love that. Thank you.
Yeah, the problem
never
with
seen-
that is if I just defined the universe as God, then you're a theist under that view, right? But that's not what you mean by God. That's not what anyone means by God. You've done the same.
I thought the conversation was about
Wait,
morality,
okay,
not God.
You lost me, Danny. What?
Yeah.
I'm saying an analogy of what you're doing is defining God as the universe. Or if I were to define God as the universe and then
I wouldn't
say,
mind.
do you believe in the universe? And you would say yes. And I'm like, oh, well, you believe in God, right? Now you might be saying, okay, I see what you mean by God. But then I think it's perfectly fine for you to say, that's not what people mean. Even in philosophy or in the average person, they don't mean that by God.
Okay,
And this is
you're
what you've
presenting-
done with morality.
You're presenting this as an analogy, but no, that doesn't
Yes.
work. Okay, I'm saying that morality is grounded in neurological systems, nuclei in your brain and in your body, and basically the way that you work as a mammal. That's what grounds morality.
That's
And
fine.
from
Look,
that-
there are people that believe that. What you've done, you see, if you've just said rightness and wrongness can be understood in terms of your brain states, I would have not said anything. Okay, but what you did,
Why would I
what
say
you-
that?
well, I'm saying
Hey,
if
Scott,
it's
do you have something to say?
hypothetical, right? The point is that if that's not that people actually think that, right? That's not too uncommon. But what you said was actually far more problematic to say that moral and immoral are not functions of rightness or wrongness.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
try to get Scott here. Like, Scott, do you have anything to say about this? He's not even here.
Okay, I had to get that out of the way.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. No, thank you though, Athena. But
Yeah, no,
I
I
don't-
just wanted to make sure you get a word in edgewise because it's like I know you don't you don't know a lot about philosophy. I don't either. I'm still trying to catch up, but
yeah, I don't
you know,
also speak very well, so
yeah,
so
well, you know, just figured everyone else was talking and you're just sitting there like, yeah, I wish I had a chance to talk.
Okay, this look that Nathan is developing for me as I'm dealing with Danny is just fucking awesome.
No, right?
You're just
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry I keep doing that, but I just gotta comment on how awesome this looks. I'm so jealous of your goddamn artistic talent. Well, I've been practicing, but it's still
okay.
not.
In order to have a conversation about morality, I start in biology, Danny, and because I'm what you call a strict naturalist. Okay, and that's what you fail to understand about me all the time. And you keep trying to drive me into this other conversation and saying I don't understand. Well, I have looked at many a philosophy book on ethics, and I found them to be wanting. So I've come up with my own basically derivations and ways to straighten out that fucking mess. Because you got to admit that ethics is kind of a mess, right? In philosophy.
Well, philosophy is just a mess. But the point is, look, there are people that share that view, right? There. It's not like an uncommon view to think that moral properties are natural properties. What I was really wanting to dispute, right? What kind of led to the John triggering was that to say that right and wrong does not imply moral or immoral. That's where I have a problem with, because it's okay. We can have a separate discussion about what moral or immoral means, or right and wrong, in terms of it being them being natural properties, right? That's called ethical naturalism. That's fine. There's like a serious conversation there, but no one thinks, including ethical naturalists, no one thinks that rightness and wrongness are distinct concepts that don't imply moral and immoral.
Yeah, they're okay. Conceptually, yeah, we can create a framework where that makes sense. Okay, we're talking about right and wrong, but I'm talking about something a little far more basic than that. The origin of morality, why we have those words in our language and those constructs of right and wrong, and why we would create such words in our language to begin with. Why would a couple of primates on the savannah come up with those words in the first place? That's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at a slightly different layer.
Well, to me, that's a different conversation, because there's like, why is it that look, if you were to ask, why does Danny think that he should have these conversations, that's a completely different question than what does it mean to say that Danny should have these conversations.
I don't understand what that.
The point is that you're wanting, and look, it's fine to talk about cause effect. There is a place for that, right? But you said you were presenting a meta-ethical framework, which is to say that you're getting at the nature or the meaning of right and wrong. But to explain right and wrong in a causal sense is changing the subject from meta-ethics to something like psychology or sociology, which is, if that's what you wanted to talk about, then sure. But you were saying that you're presenting a meta-ethical framework.
I don't think I said I was looking for a meta-ethical framework, but go ahead and tell me what meta-ethical frameworks would be. How would you define them? A meta-ethics?
Well, meta-ethics is just getting at the nature or the meaning of right and wrong. So when I say that it's right for me to. Sorry, what?
Wouldn't it be getting at the meaning of morality, or the grounding, or where morality came from? Why would it have to do with right and wrong?
You're talking about meta-ethics?
Yeah.
So a person that's studying meta-ethics, right, are not interested in how you've come to think that something is right or wrong. That's a different subject. What meta-ethics is concerned with is just like, what does it mean to say something is right or wrong? And so it might be that, so maybe the biologist has a story or a narrative about how we've come to think that, incest is right or wrong. But that's not a meta-ethics endeavor, a meta-ethical endeavor. What the meta-ethics is concerned about, is what does it mean to say that incest is right or incest is wrong?
Okay, wouldn't meta-ethics be beyond what right and wrong? Like, right and wrong is what the hell do they call a function that picks out one of two things? There's a name for it. But basically, it's a binary function. Wouldn't meta-ethics be talking about what right and wrong means to begin with, or why?
Right. No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Are you talking about Boolean functions there, Speed?
No, it's not a Boolean function. There's another There's another name for it in statistics, and I forget. I always forget the fuck. I'll think of it if I stop thinking. I always think of things when I stop thinking rather than when I try to start.
Well, can I just give you some examples, maybe of like of several meta-ethical views, maybe 2 or 3. That way we can, because there's 3 branches of moral philosophy, 3 of them: meta-ethics, normative ethics, and applied ethics. Those are the 3 branches of moral philosophy. Okay, the meta-ethics is the most fundamental study of ethics, and it gets at the meaning of rightness or wrongness or good or bad or moral or immoral.
Okay, you need to go one more up.
Okay, so normative ethics talks about our theories in which to basically our guiding theories of what we should do. So something like, have you heard of utilitarianism? The idea that we want to maximize happiness for the greatest number of people, and there's different variants of that. You can talk about.
Can I interrupt?
Of course, yeah.
You mentioned an author, atheist. I want to say Patrick.
Derek Parfit.
Could you put that in the private chat?
Yeah, Derek Parfit he's a really nice guy, and he died, I think, in 2017, or it's 2018, something like that. One of the greatest recent moral philosophers. He was an atheist, and if you've studied moral philosophy professionally, you know him. He's like one of those esoteric, if you got to be in the discipline. But if you're in that discipline, you know who he is. Derek Parfit, yeah. He's an atheist philosopher or moral philosopher, but he doesn't really care about atheism so much as he wrote a book called, there are 2 parts of it, On What Matters. Very, very dense book, but very, very well written. I've read one of the volumes, not the second volume. But
I just ran into his name this morning for some reason.
He also does stuff on personal identity. I don't know if you're familiar, maybe not familiar, but if you were talking about personal identity, he did some stuff on personal identity. But I see
a book called Reasons and Persons,
that's his stuff on like identity and stuff. I think
On What Matters, a critique. Yeah, a critique of his Reasons and Persons, and then a 2-volume set of On What Matters. So
they're 2 volumes. But I wouldn't Derek Parfit's only really good if you're actually are in that discipline. Like, there's probably better things to read if you're wanting to get introduced into moral philosophy. But Derek Parfit, what he tried to do was something that none other had tried to do, and most people think he failed. But he tried to combine deontology, specifically Kant's deontology, contractualism, and utilitarianism in one theory, which is like the craziest. Which is like really, really crazy. But he was close to being successful.
Oh, he looks awesome! Doesn't he look awesome?
Yeah, I think he was a Harvard professor or Yale. I forgot. Let's see, where was he? He was all over the place, but. Yeah, he was a visiting philosopher at Harvard, but as you can see, he was all over the place.
So how does he compare to, isn't there Rawls? Isn't he one of the
Rawls? Yeah, he uses Rawls a lot in his book, The Veil of Ignorance. Scanlon. Have you heard of Scanlon?
No, is it Jonathan Haidt? Is he a psychologist or a philosopher?
I'm not too familiar with that name. Sorry. That's not to say he's not a philosopher. I'm just not familiar.
Yeah, he may not be.
But no, he really takes a lot of Rawls.
Wait a minute, Danny. There's something about philosophy Danny doesn't know. I'm blown away.
I didn't know who he was talking about.
Oh, well, I just assumed you knew every philosopher ever in all of mankind. So the cupcake is in honor of Da Vinci, who's in the live chat, because he took umbrage at me calling him Cupcake. And he says the guy that rage quits the cupcake, but that's cool. I mean, he's misnomered there with Da Vinci because he's definitely not a Renaissance man. But look, I came back in because without interruption, Danny, I want to lay out the argument I tried to lay out when you do what you always do and jump down a rabbit hole. So the thing is, and I'm getting a lot of heat in the chat, funny ribbing from me being the rage quitter. Otangelo's very delighted with that, actually, since he rage quits more than any human being on the planet. But here's the thing. I asked that question. You might even know the thought experiment, that I'm going to suggest. Might have even known when I asked that first question, and that's why you tried to derail knowing where I was going. As a matter of fact, I would suppose that that's the biggest reason you did what you did, rather than just answer my question and let me go on. Because the thought experiment, there is a train moving down the tracks, and there is a group of people, and the track splits. There's a switch there.
The trolley problem.
Yeah, the trolley problem. A group of people on one track, one person on the other track, and you're standing there next to the switch. No time to stop the train, but you can flip the switch and have the train run over the one person instead of the 5 people. Now, that's an instance where neither of those choices is going to be good. You can make the argument that flipping the switch and killing the one person is ethical, but the argument can also be made that you shouldn't have intervened. Especially that argument can be made by the individual's loved ones after they died from being creamed by a train. So it is subjective, okay? There is instances where something could be the moral thing to do, but then still not be viewed as right. It was the only choice you could make, and to the 5 people on the other track, they're going to think it's right. To the loved ones of the individual, they're going to think it's wrong. To certain other people outside the situation, they're going to deem it as right or wrong. So you're just wrong. I don't care how many more years you went to school than I did. You are just simply wrong, telling Speed he's wrong to make the argument that ethics, morality are not always simply what's right, what's good, what's wrong, what's bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of you've entangled yourself, I think. The point is that
no, I didn't, Dan. No, I didn't.
The point is that to say that something is right or wrong, if something is right, given all of what we know, that doesn't mean that there's not a reason to not do it. So the point is that when we say something is moral or right, we're saying, given all of our reasons or given all that we know about the situation, this is what we have. This is what we should do.
Then why could there be subjective ideas about a situation like that? Okay, because if you're making that argument, then and you're saying that that's the basis of everybody's morality, it's about what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. Then why would the loved ones of the individual that died, why would they have any right to think anything but that was a good thing to do?
Are you saying that, how do we cash out disagreement? If I think that was right,
I'm not saying disagreement. What I'm saying is, the train was going down the track. If the switch hadn't been thrown, it would have ran over 5 people. Somebody was there right next to the switch and decided better one person dies than 5. They flip the switch. The train goes down the other spur and hits the individual instead of the 5 people. Now the 5 people, they're going to think that was the moral thing to do. That was the good thing to do. Okay, the dead guy ain't going to think that. I mean, if he has any thoughts.
Do you think they're disagreeing?
Hold on. No, hold on. Let me finish. Okay. But the individual that died, there's going to be people that knew him. There's going to be people that love him, that they're going to think, well, no, that wasn't the good thing to do. That wasn't the right thing to do. Why did that guy intervene? Now my loved one is dead. There's going to be people that think, you know what, the guy flipping the switch, that was the moral thing to do, but I don't know how good it is. I mean, he made the decision who dies. Who is he to be God? Okay, I'm just saying there's more to it than just knowing the jargon of fucking philosophy and talking about what philosophers, how they suss everything out. Okay,
I even said the average person. Hold on,
I'm still not done, Danny. All right, the fact of the matter is that these are complex issues when you're talking about real life situations. And of course, that's like a thought experiment. I mean, I don't know if that anybody's ever been posed with that exact situation, but there's nothing there to balk at. The only people that could balk at that are somebody like you, who knows a lot about philosophy, who is very nitpicky, about, if things don't follow the letter of the law of philosophy. But Speed is 100% right. Morality, ethics, and how they came about in humanity. It's a lot more than just it's about right and wrong. It's about good and bad. That's the only thing I'm saying here. And for you to be so definitive and adamant and obstinate about that you're right about it just because you have more schooling than us is ridiculous. Okay,
I didn't make that argument.
You made that argument several times. You made that argument several times. You made that argument several times. You just don't hold on. Hold on. One more sentence. You make that argument constantly. Every time you're in this room, you just don't realize that you're making that argument.
Right.
And it comes from what Midnight pointed out. It comes from your condescension and your disrespectful way of talking to people. You don't even realize it, okay? But that's what you do. You lord over us with your intelligence, and for some reason you think that means you're right about everything in all situations.
Yeah. So what I said was I have a background in this, and then I gave an argument. I supplemented my appeal to the fact that I've studied this stuff with the reasoning behind why you must think that moral is a function of right,
which
and
is
immoral is a function of wrong.
We must not do anything, Danny.
You're just restating what John said about you, that you're a very young man and you haven't.
Did I not give you the argument?
You need another 2 decades behind you before you're going to understand what you're doing.
I gave you the argument that if it's the case that you think something's immoral, all things being equal, on your view, that could also entail that it's the right thing to do, all things being equal. This is why you should revise your view.
What now?
Not because I have a background in philosophy, right? But because of what I just said. So please be honest in thinking that it's not just the fact that I appeal to my background, is that I give you these reductio ad absurdums. That's to say these crazy situations that are entailed by your view.
Okay, go back and state that thing that you stated at the beginning of what I got wrong, please. Carefully.
Yeah, if you think that rightness and wrongness don't have to do with morality, right, then that would allow for the possibility that something to be immoral and be right at the same time without contradiction, and no one's going to understand you.
Why? That is a lot, and I can explain how. Can I speak, please?
I understand it. I understand it very well. I just explained it to you, but you don't want to accept it.
You're just equivocating on the terms. I'm not going to disagree that.
I'm not equivocating.
I'm just.
Okay, we're going to let Dak speak. We're going to let Dak speak.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Let me frame this as a question just for people to think about before I explain. If you think that a particular thing is good and you're wrong, is it moral? Is it more moral to do that thing or to do the opposite of that thing?
Query list.
Just something to think about. Here's the thing. Danny is presenting a case trying to say that morality hinges on whether something is good or not, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. Well, we don't have access to that. We don't have access to any. I mean, if there is an absolute what's right and what's wrong, or what's the greater good or the lesser good or the greater evil, we don't have any access to that directly as a quality of the universe, if such a thing even exists as such a quality. What we do have access to is our perceptions and our opinions. So I would agree that it hinges on our opinion of right and wrong, our perception of what's good or bad, which in turn has something to do, at least indirectly, with what actually is good or bad. Again, if there is such a thing, because that's what we're aiming toward when we try to form that perception or that opinion. But we can't hinge our morality on something that we have no direct access to. We can't. We cannot directly hinge anything on something we have no direct access to. Indirectly, Sure, maybe, but we have no real evidence of that one way or the other because, again, it's something we don't have direct access to. We have no way that we can look at something and say, well, this is objectively good or objectively bad, irrespective of how you define what things are good and to whom and in what ways. These are things that we have to work out. And going back to what Speed was saying earlier, this isn't just a human thing. It's a primate thing. And it goes back before primates as well. It's a mammal thing. It's a life thing. And different life forms have come up with their own different ideas of what's good and what's bad and what's right and what's wrong. And for a cancer cell to just multiply like crazy, well, apparently that's its idea of good. It doesn't mean it's good for the body that it's slowly killing in the process.
Okay. So anyway, getting back to,
thank you.
I just want to make sure that I understand you, Danny. You're saying that morality, that the meta ethics discussion is not about right and wrong, is wrong. You're saying that's wrong, right?
So, I'm saying that to divorce rightness and wrongness and from morality seems to be changing the subject.
Right. Okay. So divorcing it is not what I would do, but rather I would construct a function of right and wrong that was a small part of the whole discussion. That's what I'm saying. So,
well, I don't think that's not clearly a problem. I mean, you would have to parse out what you meant.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
let's work it out more fully.
I want to know, Speed, why does Nathan think that you're very angry and smelling a fart?
I will reject the second part of that, and please, I would edit that out of there. But very angry. I'm usually, looking pretty serious. I have this serious Russian look about me. It's my Russian half. My Irish half is the drunken half, and that, I don't know. Have you captured my Irish drunken half? I don't know. But yeah, with my arms crossed, that's pretty much me. It's like
kind of remind me of Werner Herzog in the that first Jack Reacher movie.
I like it. I think he captured my disdain for
right, and that's why he made the arms with the hands under the arms, so we can't see the missing fingers.
He captured my disdain for what I've caught in my fishing expedition.
But going back, I don't know. I don't know if somebody, you saw the private chat, but it's like, if you regarding the trolley problem, right? I guarantee you, if you had Hitler on one track and then 5 people, everybody would pull the lever to kill Hitler. And there's no ethical concern there.
I wouldn't kill him.
Wait a minute.
Not everybody. He's got some fans.
I'm not a fan, but
yeah, he's got quite a few fans in this country.
If I kill,
you're not trying to compare Danny to Hitler, are you?
No. I
was going to agree with you. Jerry Panna had said
it's a good point, though, and I like it.
Jerry Panna had said here in a little while ago something about there, and he posted it twice that all Danny wants is he just wants you to, when you don't understand something, to ask him to explain it. Just ask him if you don't understand. John Peterson, I don't agree. I must have been when I was ragging on or explaining what I felt he was doing, and he just wants you to ask when you don't understand.
That's right.
No, that's not.
I wanted you to ask me what particularism.
No. That was not your motivation. That was the game.
I have access to my motivation.
No, but we do too, because we've been dealing with you for months and we know what your motivation is.
The best you can give is a probabilistic claim, but I actually know.
Well, the probability of it is so close to 100%. It's a distinction.
That's not going to beat my.
It's a distinction. It's a distinction without a difference. It's so close to 100%.
I've never really understood that phrase.
Actually, Danny, you can't completely know either because you don't have access to everything your brain is doing. Right. You only have access to your
I am not my brain. That's just a false premise.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't make the premise that you are your brain.
You brain said I don't have access to my brain. You don't have conscious access to all of what your brain is doing. So you cannot know what all of your motivations are because your brain
because your
Why
brain
would
has
that matter?
subconscious motivations.
I don't know what subconscious means in this context.
Well, that's your problem. You might
That
want
is
to
the
look it
problem,
up then.
Danny.
I
Yeah,
can
I
explain
reject
it
the
to you, but I
floating
don't want
notion
to take
of
up that much
subconscious.
time.
Oh, Danny, I love you half the time,
The
and I hate
brain,
you half the
the
other time.
brain does stuff that you are not consciously aware
You're
of
talking
doing. The brain,
so
the
does my
brain
liver.
has
So does my
motivations.
liver. So does my
Yeah,
liver.
and your liver might have
What does my liver have to do with
motivations.
my mind?
I don't know. Why did you bring it up? Your liver
Hey, guys.
might have
The point
motivations.
is that
your
it's
your
just to
gut-
show that I don't need to have any. I don't need to know
your
anything about
gut
my brain
does
to
have
know my
motivations.
intention.
Your gut does have motivations. It's called your enteric nervous system for a reason.
Well, then I don't know
Your
what you
brain
mean by
also has motivations. We know your brain has motivations, and we know that you're not consciously aware of all of your brain's motivations. So you can make the same argument for yourself you just made for someone else. That's all I'm
I don't
saying.
know what you mean by motivation anymore.
Oh, hang on a second, guys. Just
Your ignorance is irrelevant, but thank you.
Point of
So you're not
moderation.
gonna-
Point of moderation. I'm just going to let this shit show run from now on. I think I poked in.
Oh God, Speed, come on, man. Like I know I just did it again, but come on.
Yeah, you did. I'm just telling everybody that, anybody that wants to tune out now, that I'm just going to let the shit show run from here on out. So anyway, point of moderation. Sorry, guys.
I didn't mean to turn it into a shit show. I could take off if you like.
Oh no.
I'm not talking about you, Dak.
It was a shit show before you came on. Like it's always a shit show when when Danny comes on. Oh,
Well,
by the way.
Well, I hadn't meant to turn it into more of one either. I just thought, that kind of deserved to be clarified. That
don't worry, you're welcome.
None of us has conscious access to everything that our brain is doing, let alone everything our body is doing. I mean, some part of our body might be trying to tell some part of our brain, like, don't, maybe our foot's like not liking where we're standing because it's painful, and it's trying to tell our brain don't do that. And maybe we're not consciously aware of the pain, but some part of our brain is aware of it and trying to change our motivations based on it.
On that view, you could be a pedophile and not know it.
What the fuck?
Oh my God!
At some level, yeah, it's possible. At some level, you could be. Would you be consciously and not know it? No, because that's a conscious thing.
Have sex with other children. You don't know.
Hey, Danny.
I'm worried about you.
Neither one of us knows what our brain does that we're not aware of.
Yeah, I know I'm not a pedophile, right?
Hey, Danny, hold on. Pick a better fucking example.
You think so? You really think so? You think you know whether or not your brain might have motivations that you're unaware of. So you're claiming omnipotence. You are claiming omnipotence right now. You're saying that you know all the things that you're unaware of. You're saying that you know what things you don't know.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that is exactly what you just said. Yes.
Okay.
I just pointed out that there are things that your brain does that you're not aware of, and you're claiming that you would know if there were.
That's not what I'm claiming. I'm saying I know all my beliefs.
That's the conundrum of conundrum of omnipotence.
Hold on. Okay. So you guys are talking about being able to pick things out consciously, which is extending the set, and that's a whole different discussion. And Danny apparently does not believe. I don't know what the hell you think, Danny. Like, okay, could you be a person who wants to kill people and you don't know it? Or what else? Could you be a person who wants to? I don't know. Think of another example. What's another example?
Okay, I'll steer away from the taboo topics. Here's all I'm saying. That in terms of what I believe now, I have access to all of it. I have to be a self. What that means is that you have access to all of your beliefs. If you don't have access to if you don't have access to your beliefs, they're not your beliefs.
Well, here I thought of a better scenario. Like, so you could consciously wait a minute. You could consciously believe that that you are a very good interlocutor, right? Like, for instance, like say you could think that you're a very good interlocutor and are very adept at having conversations with people, but really there's shit going on in your brain that makes you be a horrible interlocutor. I'm not speaking of anybody in particular.
I'm talking about.
Hold on. Hold on. Why are you guys interrupting me?
Yeah. Okay. I'll wait.
Okay. So trying to soften the scenario you came up with, Danny, which you came up with just to be inflammatory.
False equivalence. Let me explain.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Speed.
It was
So anyway, because this is obvious. Yeah, I lied. I am talking about somebody in particular. I'm talking about you, Danny. You believe that you are a great interlocutor and that you bring great stuff to conversations, but what you do actually is you derail conversations.
Yeah.
You do.
I'm talking about second.
No. You do what I would call, like what chefs do. Like they'll do deconstructions. Like they'll do a deconstructed grilled cheese sandwich, and they'll give you the cooked bread and the cheese on the side and the bacon on the side. Deconstructions. You
Those are
deconstruct.
first order.
He's still fucking talking, Danny.
Yeah. You deconstruct conversations, okay? You get into the
I can grant that.
oh my god, dude!
Okay,
You dive into the minutia because you know that you are more learned in the minutia than the rest of us. Okay, so rather than have the conversation we're trying to have to you and impart the intelligence and the knowledge that you have on us, there's something in the back of your brain, in your conscious brain, you think you're doing great, but somewhere in the back of the brain, you're being sabotaged by your own brain because it makes you a condescending prick that won't just see. Because when someone says when someone says you don't understand, a phrase that you use all the time, that's not just a shortcoming of the person who's trying to understand.
Yeah,
that's a shortcoming of the person trying to explain.
Wrap it up, John. Dak wants to go.
God.
Okay, Dak and Danny, let Dak go.
No, I'm talking about second order.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Danny, let Dak go.
Apparently not. Okay.
Go ahead, Dak.
All right. First off, I just so it's been said, the example that was brought up didn't come out of my mind. That came out of Danny's mind. So my mind wasn't going there.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you've ever heard of what's called a split brain patient, this is something they used to do years ago in extreme cases to relieve people of epilepsy.
Mute him.
And if you'd let me talk, Danny, there are well documented examples of people who went through this, who found out that when their corpus callosum was severed, that they could have two completely conflicting opinions at the same time about their own motivations. That they can have motivations for doing something in one side of their brain and different motivations for doing the same thing in a different side of their brain, or one side of their brain has the actual motivations and the other side has post hoc rationalizations for why it got done. And these are things that actually happen in a person's brain, even when they do have a fully functional corpus callosum connecting the two hemispheres of their brain. And there are also cases of people having completely separate personalities in their own brain. So they can be consciously aware of one motivation at one time and a different motivation at a different time, and have both motivations all the time, but only one of them is getting conscious at the time. At a time. There's all kinds of stuff that the human brain does that we're not consciously aware of. And no, you are not completely aware of everything your brain does, because not everything your brain does is awareness. Awareness is one thing your brain does.
I'm talking about
hang on a second, Danny. There was actually a case of a split brain person who was an atheist and a Christian at the same time.
It happens.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to be split brain to have that.
I'm talking about second order beliefs, guys. Y'all have been strawmanning my position. I'm saying you can't.
Then
be wrong
you should say
about
second order beliefs.
I did try. The people were talking.
But that was not what you were saying.
Excuse me. Sorry.
That was not what you were saying when you were talking.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I will.
I'm saying you can't be wrong about what you believe. That's a second order. Yep. I'm saying you can't be wrong. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm saying you can't be wrong about what you believe. Sorry.
You didn't say second. Okay, you didn't say second order, Danny. You should have said second order. Because we weren't talking about second order beliefs. We were talking about something definitely in the first order.
Yeah. I
So
did
what I said
clarify.
was sorry,
Okay, hang on, Dak. Hang on, Dak.
I did clarify conscious versus unconscious or subconscious.
Oh, fuck
Why
me,
are you
Danny.
so sorry?
Okay,
I
Dak.
did clarify.
Dak,
I did
Dak.
clarify which subsets I meant and which subsets and how different subsets were qualified differently. I did clarify.
Okay. Now,
Danny
Danny.
didn't.
So what I was talking about was second order beliefs. John was talking about first order beliefs. I could be wrong in terms of what I believe about the world or about like how things are, right? How people perceive them. But what I cannot be wrong about is my beliefs about my beliefs. That's called a second order belief.
Okay, but originally, Leo, he was not talking about second order beliefs.
That's what I was talking about.
And Dak was not talking about second order beliefs. We were all of the rest of us were talking about basically just.
You were responding to me. You were responding to me. That's why you should let me correct. At least let me correct your rendition of me. I should interrupt if you don't have my view. If you're attacking a straw man, why would I let you waste your?
Well, no, I have to interrupt you if you don't shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. Let the other person finish their sentence.
I just don't understand why you would want to attack a straw man.
It may even be possible to be wrong about your beliefs about your beliefs. I don't know that it is possible, but it may be.
Well, then what sense would they be your beliefs?
Most things that motivate you are not second order beliefs.
In the sense
that's true. No, that's true. No, no, that's actually true, Speed. And that's that. The idea is that second order beliefs are not themselves motivations. Okay, their second order beliefs is what constitutes agency. Okay, to say that that is my belief is to say that I believe that it's my belief, or I believe that I believe it. Right, and if you don't believe that you believe it, then it's just not your belief.
That's not true. I'll go back to my reference of split brain patients and also people with multiple personalities.
Those are discussing first order. Those are all examples of first order beliefs.
No,
give me the example of second.
I'm talking about, for example, people who believe that they are an atheist and believe that they are a theist, or people who believe that they are devout Muslim and also
those are first order.
That they are okay. You don't want to hear me. You don't want to hear me.
Yeah, no, get out of here.
He just called you a dumbass. Like, Danny, you don't call people dumbasses.
Did he call him a dumbass?
Yes, he did. I was hearing.
Okay.
I mean, I was specifically talking about people having beliefs about their beliefs and disagreeing with themselves about their beliefs about their beliefs. It happens. Okay. Those are at the very least second order beliefs, if not third order or fourth order beliefs.
Okay, let's have the chat vote.
So no, I believe that I'm an atheist. It's not a second order belief, Dak. It's not a second order belief. I believe that I believe I'm an atheist is a second order belief.
Okay, before you go on, should you apologize to Dak for calling him a dumbass?
Danny, atheism is a lack of belief. That is a belief.
Atheism itself is not a belief.
I believe that I have a lack.
Hold on. Midnight.
Yeah, midnight. Sorry. Yes, I'm here. I just needed to. Whenever there's a screaming match, I take my headphones off. I was trying to say, Danny, shouldn't you apologize to Dex for calling him a dumbass?
Yeah. I don't understand what you mean by should there.
Fuck.
You are fucking hopeless.
The point is that look, to say that I believe atheism is a first order belief. I believe that I believe in atheism. That's a second order belief.
Okay, we got one keep Danny vote. We got one kick Danny vote.
So it is at least a second order belief, if not a third or fourth order belief.
You don't even know what you're talking about. Third and fourth order? What the hell is that?
Yes,
you believe that you believe that you believe.
I'm talking about. Apparently, you don't. Your ignorance is not my ignorance.
You think that I believe. To say that I believe in atheism, you're claiming that that's a second order belief, but that's first order.
Believe in atheism? Yes, I believe there are atheists. I believe in atheism.
That's first order. That's first order, not second order.
Well, that might be. But to say you believe you are an atheist is to say that you believe something about your beliefs.
No. Look, it implies a second order belief. Look, I believe in atheism, right?
It implies a second order belief because it is.
Sorry. No, I believe.
Why are you so
sorry? I'm an atheist. Sorry. I believe that I'm an atheist. Sorry.
What are you apologizing for? What is it that you're apologizing for, Danny? I don't know what you're apologizing for. You keep saying you're sorry.
Why do you guys keep talking over Danny, and then when he tries to continue, just kick him?
Well, because he's
actually
talking
quite
over
rude.
everybody else, Leo. He's talking over everybody else.
He's not. He's trying to explain. Other people butt in, cut him off, and then you're claiming that he's cutting them off.
No, he is not. No, he has been talking over people constantly.
Not really.
Okay, we should.
Not more than anybody else in this room.
Emotions are high right now. Let's all calm down.
When he's saying sorry, while someone else is talking, is that or is that not talking over someone? If he has something to apologize for, he should say what it is and get it done with, rather than repeating the word sorry and never saying what he's sorry about.
He's saying that
that's my opinion, my personal opinion.
Trying to stop you from over talking him. That's why he's doing it.
Then maybe that would be the thing to say. You know, maybe that would be the thing to say. Is
say what I was trying to say before you interrupted. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So here's what I'm trying to say: that if I claim I believe that there are no fairies, right? That is a first order belief. I believe that I'm a theist, right? That is not a first order belief. I'm sorry, that's not a second order belief. To say that I believe in that there are no fairies, that's second order. Okay. Now, when we say that I believe in X, that implies a second order belief, but it's not itself a first order belief. Sorry, it's not itself a second.
But if you're talking about believing that you are a theist or believing that you are an atheist, that is like saying that I believe in fairies. Because being a theist is saying that you believe in God. If you say I believe I'm a theist, that is saying I believe that I believe in a God, in a personal God specifically.
Look,
that is a second order belief at the very least.
Look, believing that God exists and believing that you believe that God exists are not the same thing. The first one is the first order belief. The second one is a second order belief. Second order beliefs are beliefs about beliefs. Having beliefs does not make them second order. Having beliefs about your beliefs is second order.
Okay, I don't know if you didn't hear what I said, but that's not what I said. I did not say that those are the same thing. I said that if you say that you believe you are a theist, that is saying that you believe in a God, because saying I am a theist is saying I believe in a God. If you say I believe that I am a theist, then you are saying I believe that I believe in a God.
No, it implies it. There's a big difference, right? To say that I believe that in X is a first order belief, and first order beliefs implies second order beliefs if you're an agent. Okay, in the same way that if I said that I'm a bachelor, that implies that I'm a man. But me being a bachelor and me being a man are two different propositions. In the same way that if I believe that I'm a bachelor, that's a distinct proposition that I believe that I'm a bachelor.
Again, being a bachelor is not a belief position. Being a theist or an atheist is.
You're just dense. I can't explain it any better.
You understood. You explained what you're trying to say perfectly fine, as far as I can tell.
Do you see why I said
you just don't seem to understand the linguistics of what it is that you're talking about.
What I'm saying here,
the phrase "I'm an atheist" has a meaning. The phrase "I'm a theist" has a meaning, and that meaning in both cases implies a position on a belief.
Well, that's what I said. Now you're taking my look. I'm just saying this. You can be wrong about your first order beliefs. All right. If I believe I'm a theist, well, that might. If I believe that I'm a theist, the idea is that your belief about your belief can't be wrong. Okay, but your belief itself, the first order, can be wrong, and that's the point that I'm making. Right. So when you're saying, sorry, go ahead.
If you say I believe I'm a theist, I would think you're probably right about that. I would say you could be wrong, but it's extremely unlikely, because if you believe you're a theist, then that means that you believe that you have a belief in a God, and you probably do. But if you were to say, I believe that I am a theist and I believe I am not an atheist, or I believe I am an atheist and I believe I am not a theist, the not part is a harder thing to be sure of, because you might be a theist somewhere in your brain and be unaware of it.
Yeah, that's just that doesn't make it. I mean, it just seems like that's. Look, if it's the case that so I understand what you're saying now.
You could have that first order belief and not the second order belief.
If you're saying I believe that I'm a theist, that is, I could see why you're saying if what that means is I believe in God, right? Then that's sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you there. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is that you can't be wrong about that. But you can be wrong that there is a theist, which is the first order belief. So you can be wrong about first order beliefs, but you can't be wrong about second order beliefs.
I would disagree with that. I would say it's less likely to be. I wouldn't say it can't be done.
The point, look, then the point is that what does it mean to say that some belief is yours if it's the case that you don't have access to it?
What's yours is, that's a fuzzy thing all in and of itself. I mean, for example, if a child has a plate on the table and they've got some food on the plate, and that plate belongs to their parents, and another kid tries to take their plate away and they say that's mine, well, they're right and they're not, depending on how you look at it, because it is their
when
plate.
they say that's
the
mine,
one
they're not
that they're being. Okay, well, but you're talking about ownership. How is it your belief? Well, that's a fuzzy issue all in itself. And like as I said earlier, it is your belief in the sense that it is your belief. And I know that's a tautology, but that's the answer.
Look, I agree that when we're like, this is my computer, that's a kind of ownership. But when I'm not talking that way when I say that's my belief. It's not like we own it in the same sense that we own our computer or our house. Okay.
That was
so what I'm trying to say is actually much more intimate than the suggestion, like the much more intimate to say that it's my belief than to say it's my computer. Okay. And it's the kind of intimacy that goes as far as to say that if you did not own it, or if it was not your belief, you wouldn't even know about it.
Well, you can know something and be unaware that you know it. You can have knowledge that you've forgotten, that you've misplaced. It's still in your head, but that's why in court they try to avoid saying I don't remember, and instead they use phrases like I don't recall, because
that's fine.
They very well might remember.
I'm saying at present, in the very beginning, I practiced in terms of how I am now. I have access to everything I believe. If I were to ask, do you believe in X, right? You may not know in the sense that you don't hold to a position, or it's either that you reject it or you accept it. Okay. And you're gonna have now there also might be where you haven't really thought about it and you don't believe, and you're searching your other commitments and seeing if there's an inference to that belief, and then you could say, yes, I do, I'm committed to that, and that implies a belief, right? But the point is that I can't be wrong about the fact that that's my belief or that's your belief or that's not my belief. It doesn't make any sense, because the idea of an agent and being an agent is that that you have constitutive knowledge of yourself.
Well, again, like I said, the parts that you're aware of, it would be very difficult to be wrong about. I would think quite unlikely of the parts that you're aware of. Now, we can have optical illusions and things like that. So there are things that we can perceive things in different ways than they actually are. And the same is true of perceiving stuff about our own brain. So I would say it's even possible to think that you believe something that you actually don't. But I'm not sure quite how that would work.
Okay. Most people, including me, are so I'm going to drop it.
However, it is very possible to believe something and be unaware that you believe it, because that's simply a matter of something not having entered your conscious thought. You can have all kinds of beliefs that were ingrained in you at an early age that you've completely forgotten about and you haven't really thought about. And if anybody asked you whether or not you believe them, you might even say you don't know whether or not you believe them. But that doesn't mean that there hasn't already been a belief formed. It's just you haven't become consciously aware.
I'm dropping it.
Okay. Yeah, we should let somebody else, like Leo and Midnight and Scott, enter in and say what they got to say. We're just about to wrap her up, and we got about 15 minutes left.
The only thing I would say, and this isn't targeting anybody specific, this is just a general statement that I make all the time. I really wish more people, especially atheists, would look into things like epistemology than they think they have.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and that's what we started out with at the beginning of this. was looking at morality as based in the enteric in the body and basically where it comes from. And I consider that the true meta discussion, coming from it as a strict naturalist. So, and I think most of the bullshit about right and wrong and oughts and ises and shoulds and wouldn'ts and like Danny said, I sucked the normative from the philosophy, and that's generally overall that is my goal as a strict naturalist, to suck it out and suck it out like fucking snake venom and spit. Anyway, so anyway, why don't we wrap up for the day, guys?
Hey, speaking of snake venom, do you see the fangs?
Do I have fangs?
You have fangs now.
Oh my god, thank you. I have fangs. Oh fucking
Holy shit, he does have fangs.
I've always wanted fangs.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Just speed. Dude, I don't know. Like these streams you have always turn into shit shows, and I half love that they do, and half just get a fucking headache every time people overtalk each other. And I'm like,
well, no, I'm okay. I wanted Danny to come in on this topic, and I wanted to get something from him, and I got what I wanted. So
yeah,
and
I basically got Danny, the information
that I needed. Yeah, Danny, thank you for putting up with us and putting up with all the moderation that I have to do with you. But
it's fine. I'm here anytime.
Yeah, but yeah. So I think it was fruitful overall, and I hope that the beginning of the stream where we were talking about the basically the natural basis of morality is hopefully rings true with somebody out there. But I want to talk more about
it would have been nice to finish that conversation.
Yeah, I think we will in the maybe even tomorrow. Oh, I have a green shirt, green T-shirt. Oh my god, I have a green T-shirt. No, thank you. Green is my favorite color T-shirt.
What does he have? What does he have coming out of your mouth? You're saying what?
Fangs. Oh, haha, yeah.
Yes, sorry. What the fuck?
I should say Danny. Fuck Danny.
I need to step up my game. You're artistic.
Speed, I have a question.
Yeah.
So where do you stand in terms of morality? Are you a realist, non-cognitivist, relativist?
I'd say I'm a realist in that I derive it all from naturalism, from what the brain is, what we are as animals. And I think that is objectively real. And I think that 90 to 99% of humans will all go the same way on moral decisions, given enough time to work it out. I guess I
wouldn't put a number on
Speed. There's a name for that. There's a name for that. It's called ethical. It's called ethical naturalism. But you have to be careful. In ethical naturalism is that the word naturalism there is not being used in the same way as metaphysical naturalism. You can be an ethical naturalist and believe in God.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Hey,
the idea is that you identify. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm feeling compelled to have to backpedal and agree with every single thing Danny said today because Otangelo is ripping on him in the live chat. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So then agree with Otangelo.
Okay, Otangelo wants to have a conversation with you about the meaning in life.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't think it's going to be not because of Otangelo, but the meaning of life. To me, that's like kind of like Leo put it really well. It's like
not meaning of life. He put meaning in life, not meaning of life.
He probably meant meaning of life.
That's what he meant. But
English isn't his first language, and he
makes
presumption like that all the time.
The presumption of that question is like that. There's some kind of objectivity to it, and it's like asking what's north of north for me.
Yeah, what is the meaning of life? Whatever you want it to be. I mean, we could talk about it, but I don't see that it would be a very fruitful conversation.
Right.
And what meaning is in life could be an even more interesting conversation. Much more diverse.
I think the divining rod dildo in my picture would have been a meaningful conversation. I don't know.
Divining rod dildo.
Yeah.
I've never seen one before. I wonder if you can buy something like that at a sex toy store.
Well, I think given the shape of what you're taught, the divining rod there, it would probably be something for a three-way.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know if anyone's interested in this video that I came across, but
You posted it in private chat?
Is it video of a three-way with a triple-ended dildo?
no, it's apparently what happened to the human chimp hybrid that was created by scientists in a U.S. lab? ? I don't know. Might be interesting to watch.
Oh, I might check that.
Laugh. Yeah,
I thought that was supposed to be a Russian thing.
Yeah. We got to wrap up, guys. So I think that was fun. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
We got almost 500 chats out there, so
kind of sucked.
It's a good day.
What's the average amount of chats?
Usually we get. I don't know. It's hard to come up with an average. It's been increasing pretty much every day. So
well, I know that.
We're
I
about
know that when I left, I'm sure I was good for 100 chats there.
Oh, you were, yeah.
I did want to say, in terms of a humanzee, there is no actual confirmation that such a hybrid between a human and a chimpanzee has actually been created by anybody anywhere.
Why, yes. Thank you, Leo. Watch the video anyway. It's fun to watch.
Can you center that a little bit, Nathan? I want to do a screenshot.
Yeah, there's probably at least two things and at least two comments in the chat that I might have inspired indirectly. At least two.
Hey Nathan, can you draw a couple of raccoons around Speed there? Hungry looking raccoons.
Jerry says, at Snake was right. Addo Tangelo is one Bible verse away from flat Earth.
Yeah, he already thinks that gravity doesn't act on gases, so.
Tangelo, is that right? That you actually think gravity doesn't affect gases?
That's what he said. And then when we asked him if he actually believed it, he refused to.
I've heard that, and I can't help wondering if maybe somebody misunderstood you. So, because gases are made of atoms and or molecules, just like solids and liquids are. So, the fact that they're farther apart from each other and, moving around a little faster, I don't know what would make you think that, that gravity would stop affecting them under those conditions.
Dak, didn't you know we couldn't have an atmosphere unless there was a container over it?
Of course. How do you get a pressurized atmosphere next to a vacuum? Yeah. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, you don't.
Hashtag woke.
You don't. That's why the atmosphere gets less and less and less pressure as you approach the vacuum, because the pressurized atmosphere isn't right next to the vacuum. It's blended into the vacuum, which is why we don't have a perfect vacuum out there.
And interestingly enough, one of the few facts I do know, actually they discovered pretty recently, maybe in the last 10 years, that the atmosphere actually extends and engulfs the moon.
Yeah.
Depends on how you define atmosphere.
Well, no, it does. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it does, though.
Let's not go down that road again, fellas.
It gets... When you get out to a certain distance, the solar winds are stronger than the amount of atmosphere that's escaping from the Earth. So, I mean, it eventually gets to the point where you can't really justly call it Earth's atmosphere. But yeah, the Earth-Moon system does have an atmosphere of a sort.
Well, it's a constituent of the closer atmosphere, the more denser atmosphere that's closer to the planet.
So he insists.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say. I've never had a flat earther be able to answer this question with any kind of coherence. Is if there's if the Earth is covered by a container that allows us to have an atmosphere, why is there a pressure gradient? And they never have an answer for that.
Can you put Otangelo's comment back up?
Yeah, because that would make no sense.
Otangelo's star comment? Yeah, that's just oh my god.
So I put a link in the chat of where we literally watched the accretion process happen to a protostar. So when he says that this has never been demonstrated, we've literally fucking watched it
Wait,
happen.
where did you post it? Oh, there it is. It just came up.
I'll check that out. So how long did it take? I mean, I thought it took a really long. Oh, I guess it would get faster and faster, wouldn't it?
It depends.
Well, I mean, as you got more and more accretion, it would.
As you get more and more accretion, you get less and less in the accretion disk, though.
Yes, yes, Otangelo, it has definitely been demonstrated to be possible. It's called physics.
Hey, Speeds, look what he's drawing in the picture behind you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cute raccoon.
Oh, this is getting better and better. Okay, guys,
By
let's
the-
wrap it up.
By the way,
By the
way, a little fringe physics, if anybody's interested. I haven't seen this written up anywhere or anything like that, but this relates to what Otangelo was saying about we haven't demonstrated that it's possible. If you understand physics, you know things are, you know whether or not certain things are possible without having had to test those things specifically, because other tests give you that information. So, as an example, I mentioned earlier the solar wind, which has swept away atmospheres from planets in the past, and our solar system has Venus with a really dense atmosphere, and Earth with a much less dense atmosphere, and Mars with almost no atmosphere, and then there's our moon, which is sort of in the very thinnest part of the atmosphere of Earth. But like I said, the solar wind does sweep a lot of the atmosphere away from our sun. However, that atmosphere also is being gravitationally pulled in toward our sun. If you do the math, I'm not sure exactly where it would be, but there comes a certain point out there where the atmosphere that's being blown away from the sun meets the atmosphere that's falling back into the sun, and you've got more of an atmosphere there than you have on either side of it. It's kind of like the Lagrange points, where you have something. We have a satellite in orbit in Lagrange point 1, Discover satellite DSCOVR, that is keeping up with the Earth's orbit around the sun, and it's about 1 million miles away from the Earth, taking photographs about every 2 hours or so of the Earth's sunlit side every single day. So we have demonstrated these things.
I did want to say really quick to what Korag Nightwolf said, the stardust in your right hand is probably from a different star than the stardust in your left hand. No, that's probably not the case. Most of all the elements heavier than probably helium, maybe carbon, in our solar system when it was forming came from a supernova that occurred roughly 1,000 light years away. Almost all the gold, almost all of the iron and the silver and the nickel and the cobalt and all these other heavy elements, like many of them that are in our body, came from that supernova. So all of the atoms that make up our body, likely all of the atoms that make up our entire solar system, the vast majority of them probably came from the same star.
Right.
But wait, hold on. I have a quick.
But they're very likely. But there very likely are a few exceptions from different ones. So, yeah.
Okay, Midnight.
I had a quick question for Leo, and I may be misremembering, but didn't our solar system come from a second generation star? That blue, that
second generation star.
At least in part.
Well, from what I hear, our sun is a third generation star.
Yeah.
Some star went supernova, and the energy released from that event collapsed a region of a massive gas cloud, and that formed our sun and subsequently our solar system.
Yeah, probably like fourth or fifth generation, I think, or at least.
What I remember, the entire solar system came from a glass. Never mind. End the show.
Anyway, Otangelo has given us a lot to talk about for tomorrow, I think, about stars and...
Otangelo, to answer your question, what came first, a supernova or a star? A star would have come before the supernova because a supernova is a dying star.
Right.
I mean, by the way, the chicken and the egg problem. There is no chicken and egg problem. The egg came first.
How much I got to pay to get out of here?
I just wanted to say our sun is most likely a second generation star because of its metallicity.
Yeah, so it can't be wrong.
It might be partially a fifth generation star for all we know. And there does seem to be some evidence that it's at least partially a third generation star.
Generation stars exist yet.
Well, yeah, I said might be. for all we know. But there is some evidence that it is probably at least partially a third generation star.
Okay,
Mostly second generation.
Angelo is laughing at you, Dak. He says the egg came
Good for
first.
him.
LOL.
Yes. Yes.
Angelo laughing at
Dinosaurs.
you is probably a
Yes. Yes. Pre-avian dinosaurs pre-existed avian dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Go
I just
figure.
looked it up.
And worms pre-existed dinosaurs. They lay eggs too.
I just wanted to say that the raccoon that Nathan is drawing is the raccoon that bit Speed and made him a were-raccoon.
Were-raccoon, yeah.
A were-raccoon.
Ah.
Oh, the raccoon should have fangs.
That's what that is.
I wanted to point out to Speed, too, that you do know this is your channel, right?
Is it?
Yeah, when we do this to you, you've been trying to end for 10 minutes. You can just stop the stream anywhere you want.
Okay, fuck all you guys. I'm ending the stream now.
Yeah.
So fuck y'all.
Yeah, or just go, or whatever. Okay. It's your channel.
We're going to end. We're going to end.
Okay.
Leo, do you have anything going on that you want to talk about in your channel, or anybody have anything?
Not until Thursday.
Okay. Goodbye, cruel world. We're ending the broadcast for today. See you tomorrow.